Welcome to CrashMagic. In this video we've got a trick called 16 Dates that was devised by the Canadian magician Mel Stover. This one is interactive, so I hope you join in and give it a go. You'll need to add up 4 numbers during the trick, so if you want to pause the video and grab a pen and paper or open the calculator on your mobile phone, then do so. But if not, the numbers aren't too big, so you can probably just do it in your head. Okay, if you're ready, let's begin. This isn't a card trick then, but I will be using the cards just at the end to generate a random number. So here we've got a calendar for the year 2024, and it's a standard format, monthly format, so on every page there's a different month. And if you were here, I'd now ask you to select any month within that calendar, but as you're not here, we're going to use this 12-sided dice to pick a random month. So we have thrown a 4, which is April. So let's turn to April, and that will be the month that we use. February, March, next one should be April, there we are. So this is the month that we're going to use. Could have been any month, free choice from the calendar. The next thing we're going to do is draw a square around any 16 numbers, so a 4x4 square. And again, if you were here, you could choose where to draw the square and around which numbers. Let's just draw it around these numbers. So a 4x4 square containing 16 numbers. Now I'm going to ask you to select 4 numbers from this square, 1 from each row, but I'm going to ask you to do it in a particular way. Let's start with the 3rd row. So you can pick any of these 4 numbers, 17, 18, 19 or 20. So pick whichever of these 4 numbers from this row that you like, and either jot it down or put it into your calculator or just remember it. Okay, so have you got a number from the 3rd row? Okay, now we'll move on to the 1st row then. So again, I want you to choose a number from the 1st row. The only restriction is you can't choose a number that's on the same column as the number that you chose in the 3rd row. So let's say, for example, you chose number 17 from the 3rd row. That means you can't choose 3, but you can choose 4, 5 or 6. Or if you chose 19, you can't choose 5, but you can choose 3, 4 or 6. So if you choose a number now from the 1st row and then jot that number down, or if you want you can add it now to your number that you selected from the 3rd row. Got it? Good. Let's move on to row 4 then. So again, choose one of these 4 numbers, but you can't choose a number that's in the same column as the number that you've chosen in the 3rd or the 1st row. So let's say you chose 17 from the 3rd row and 4 from the 1st row. That means you wouldn't be able to choose 24 or 25, and you'd have to choose either 26 or 27 instead. So again, jot down the number that you choose from the 4th row and add it on to your total. Okay, our final row then is the 2nd row. Again, of course, there are 4 numbers to choose from, but if you've done this right, you'll have already picked a number from all the other rows such that there's only one column that you haven't chosen a number from. So for this 2nd row, that's the number that you should choose. So for example, if you chose 17 from the 3rd row, 4 from the 1st row and then 26 from the 4th row, that would mean for the 2nd row your number would be 13. So once you've worked out what your final number is from this 2nd row, add it on to your other numbers to give you a final total. This then is your unique number. Remember this final number. You don't need to remember any of the other numbers now. We're going to go back to the cards that we shuffled right at the start, and I'm going to deal these now into 3 piles. While we're dealing cards 1 to 10 or ace to 10, I'll keep dealing. As soon as we get to a picture card, we'll cap that pile and move on to the next pile until we've got 3 capped piles of cards. Okay, so we've got a 5, 3, 6, Jack. So there's a picture card, so we'll stop that pile now and move on to a next one. 5, 10, 2, 9, 2, Queen. So we'll stop and move on to the next pile. Last pile then, Ace, 2, 8, 4, 3, Queen. Okay, so we've got our 3 piles, and I'm going to remove the picture cards, which leaves us with these cards here. Now I'm going to add up the values on these cards. So we've got a 6 and 3 is 9, add 5 is 14, add 2 is 16, add 9 is 25, add 3 is 28, add 4, 32, add 8 is 40, 42, 52, 54, 55, 60. So the value of these cards is 60. Now what were the values of the random numbers that you selected from this calendar? Well, that's the end of the video. Let me know in the comments below if I managed to get your number and if you enjoyed it. If you did like it, please like and subscribe, and see you soon.